Hi everyone, and welcome to this special pick a card reading. I will put timestamps below for your selected pile, but I'd like to start by introducing this reading. We're looking at the 4 stages of alchemy in honor of today being Alchemy Day, February 11th, and that's to celebrate the anniversary of the translation of the Book of the Composition of Alchemy from Arabic to Latin in 1144. If you'd like more information on this topic, I refer you to a wonderful channel called Esoterica, all capital letters. It's an entire playlist dedicated to alchemy and a bunch of other Hermetic philosophy and Gnosticism over there. So we're going to start by taking a look at alchemy and the 4 stages and what they represent. And the magnum opus, as it's described, is the great work in Latin. It's the alchemical and hermetic tradition to the process of transmutation of the prima materia into the philosopher's stone. The philosopher's stone is the most refined and valuable substance which, through the alchemical process, emerges from the crudest and most worthless. In traditional alchemy, this was the transmutation of lead into gold. Later in the Gnostic tradition, this was interpreted not as the transmutation of metal, but of the soul or psyche of the alchemist himself. So Carl Jung, a famous psychologist, if you're familiar with his work, and the founder of analytical psychology, usually referred to as Jungian psychology, saw in Gnostic alchemy a precedent to the process of individuation as encountered in his own clinical practice. This was a breakthrough for Jung and offered a vast amount of data supporting his theory of the collective unconscious, more specifically that psychic transformation follows an archetypal and universal process. This transformative process happens through the integration of the conscious and unconscious aspects of the subject's psychology. Jung describes this process as having 4 stages: confession, elucidation, education, and transformation. This is an analog for the 4 stages of alchemical transmutation: Negredo, which is the black, Albedo, the white, Citrinitas, the yellow, and Rubedo, which is the red. Individuation in Jungian psychology is the process whereby an individual realizes a state of spiritual and psychological wholeness. Through this process, that which was previously fragmented and broken is restored and synthesized so that a whole and unique individual emerges, an individual who fully accepts and is one with him or herself, an individual who is fully authentic and embraces his or her destiny. It is a movement away from being a pawn in the hands of fate to consciously collaborating in the realization of one's unique destiny. So the 4 stages we're looking at are: the first one is Negredo. This is the first stage, which is called shadow work in Jungian psychology. This is the stage of confession or catharsis. It's the breaking apart, the return to, it's the most worthless, dense, heavy weight, which is why it's referred to as lead. Next, we have Albedo, which focuses on the development of the communication between the consciousness and the unconscious aspect of the psyche. So the 2 pillars, Yakin and Boaz, we have conscious in the white, unconscious in the black. So you're mediating a connection between those, as like you would imagine on the High Priestess card. This stage builds relationship to the self, as individuation is the bringing together of both conscious and unconscious perspectives. This stage is imperative in the actualization of this dialogue. This is the stage of illumination or elucidation. The 3rd stage is in the individuation process, focuses on facilitating conscious relatedness to others and the world at large. This is the stage of education. And finally, we reach the Rubedo stage, the reddening. This is the process where individuals explore personal myth, the symbolic life, authentic personification. The final stage focuses on what individuation means, how your archetypal dynamics aid you in discovering and living your personal myth, how to incorporate meaning and consciousness through living a symbolic life, and how the persona communicates your essence and purpose to the world. So this is becoming your true authentic self, becoming a leader, so turning from being lead into gold. Okay, so take your time and focus on which pile is most resonating with you at this time. You can revisit this reading later if you like, but I did shuffle these 2 decks together. We have the Modern Spellcasters Tarot combined with the Thelema Tarot, and I shuffled each one individually and then alternated 1 card each. So they're thoroughly shuffled And we're going to take a look at the top 4 cards of each pile after I separated them. Okay. Well, it looks like I missed one there. We'll take an extra one. All right, and then there we go. And one more view for you. Pause the video if you'd like. And we'll get started with pile number 1. All right, welcome pile 1. We chose the first stage, Negredo. It's our onyx for that stage. Let's take a look at what we have. First, the sun. That's a beautiful place to start. So there's a lot of light already coming through in this darkest phase, the shadow work. I think this is a reminder that the light is never gone. You carry it within inside you, no matter how bad your situation may be or how dark life may seem at this time. The sun is always there, and the sun is also represented by Leo. So we have the children there representing innocence, creativity, playfulness, joy, maybe taking notice and taking part in the simple things in life right now, which could bring you that kind of happiness. Next, we have the 9 of Cups. All right, there's a lot of satisfaction and fulfillment here. This is known as the wish card. So your wish can come true. If you wish, wishing upon a star, the sun is our biggest star, right? And we have the moon behind him. So there's already a balance going on, a balancing within. And then we have the Tower. This is the ultimate card of transmutation. So some disaster having to come through your life to clear the way in order to initiate you on this path. It's never easy. And if you ever seen the movie The Matrix, when Neo wakes up from the Matrix and he's in that egg, he's being reborn, right? And it's the most shocking and jarring and difficult experience that he had to go through, but it was necessary for him to be freed. So we have this cataclysm that has come through, because if this is on your mind, if this is what you're aspiring to do or to be, then major shifts have to come through your life and change what you're doing now in order to create the life that you want. And then we have the 4 of Swords. Okay, so this is rest, reflection, and contemplation. Stage 1 is being that shadow work. So taking time to rest, reflect, and go within. How did things get to this stage of your life? Where do you envision it going? But there is peace after this great upheaval, and especially with the sun being there, lightening the entire reading, bringing joy, hope, and warmth to it. I'm going to take a look and see what was under your deck, because I had one massive deck to start, and then I cut them. Let's see what's underneath. The Ace of Swords. All right, wonderful. So this is the truth. They say what the truth shall set you free. The Ace of Swords can also be used to cut ties, karmic ties, or partnerships, cutting yourself free of your old life, releasing yourself from a mental prison. She's got 4 swords surrounding her here as almost a protection as the wolves watch her sleep, because they're not there to harm the individual. It's definitely feels like a circle of protection. Swords can also be used as wands to draw those circles of protection around you. The Tower is not only destruction, but it's also an epiphany, like this Ace of Swords indicates. There's a clarity and understanding coming through that is giving you kind of a wake-up call. It may be a little shocking, but again, the truth is there for you to see, and there's no escaping it at this point. All right, and the light, like I said, is being shown on that. Let's take a look at some astrology cards for you. Expand upon this. Libra, consideration, fairness, and harmony, another air sign, like the Ace of Swords, the 4 of Swords. So again, there's a rebalancing with the sun and the moon that began this reading. So something inside you was off. There was too much feminine energy, too much masculine energy. And this is kind of like it looks like a reset button, like a power surge, you know, might cause your lights in your house to go out, but then they come back on. And then we have opposition, imbalance, a point of tension, and a power struggle. Okay, so yeah, an internal power struggle here, going back and forth between maybe what you were told about yourself in life and what you feel to be true, your inner truth coming out here in the Ace of Swords. That things are at odds with one another. You know, trying to find your place in the center can be difficult and stressful. So the Four of Swords can also emphasize, you know, good self-care at this time. Take time out to rest. And then we have Mars, move forward and defend self. It's funny because Mars is the ruler of the Tower and that masculine energy of destruction. And then finally we have House 12. Okay, so it's interesting that they're laying, you know, in meditation there. And this is the 12th house of Pisces, spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service, and healing. So it looks like you're laying down at the feet of karma, realizing that you're not in control when things like the Tower happen, they come through, and that you're willing to now accept what's being asked of you. Whereas in the past there may have been resistance. It looks like there's a willingness now to dive deep, to go into the shadow, to look at the parts of yourself that you don't even want to think about. A lot of it has to do with trauma and healing that, resolving that. Okay, but that's all part of the alchemical process. That's how you come out at the end stage, completely transformed, healed, and a unique sovereign being who has control over life. That's the whole goal of this process. And then we have underneath the deck sextile, a combination of tension and flow, potentially, and a rewarding situation. So we have the opposition here, but it's right below the genie, the Nine of Cups card, right? So there's a combination of difficulty and reward that happens throughout this process. And now we're going to take a look at our Making Magic cards. These are magic sigil cards you can meditate on or just act as a message here for our pile. Okay, we have Earth. Ask the element of Earth for grounding, stability, and strength in times of chaos. Well, I would say with the Tower and Mars there. We also have successful career, a happy working environment, pay rises, and promotions. So maybe that's what you're undergoing, is finding, again, your true purpose and figure out what that is. Your career may differ from the job you have now. Maybe some of you were recently let go and now you're wondering, well, now what do I do? Well, it might be a sign from the universe that it's time to live your purpose and follow your true path, because whatever you were doing for money in the past wasn't what you were supposed to be doing. And then we have time to shine, creates an energetic resonance for golden opportunities. So we are changing lead into gold here. Very resonant with the sun energy that started this reading. And finally, we have achievement, win the award, accolade, or contract. Well, that's like the wish card too, coming true. Okay, so there is an attainable goal here for you. It is kind of very encouraging, even though we are at the bottom. You have to start somewhere. There's only one way to go, and that's up. So underneath we have listening to divine wisdom and joyfully learning life's lessons. You know, black is the color of Saturn. Saturn's our teacher. And here we have, I'm going to get an archetype card for you. Finish this off. The Warrior, number 10. All right, so 10s are all about completions of cycles. And I mentioned Saturn, so it could be contracts, karmic contracts. The circle's there in the center. And the snake, of course, representing change and transformation, because when the snake outgrows its skin, it leaves it behind as it grows. All right. It's interesting, another stage of the alchemical process, this name is escaping me now, but it's also known as like the peacock phase, because there's another phase that can happen where a multitude of colors come out, like that rainbow that's being displayed. Maybe look into that more for yourself if you're curious. But the peacock or the phoenix or the raven, rising from the ashes here, that we have the fire at the base of the sword. So there is an elevation occurring, but first a burning away of the old has to occur. All right, so the warrior card reads, the samurai, the soldier, the advocate. We often envision the warrior as an armored figure with sword in hand, moving blindly toward battle. Yet the deeper aspects of this archetype bring us face to face with death itself. The warrior stands precariously at the edge of life and death, trusting the eternal to guide the sword's blade. The warrior's work requires presence, alignment, and purpose. If and when the warrior loses its center, meaningless confrontations and violence are their default response. When this card appears, it is important to question the battle at hand. It is likely a great one with deep roots and long-standing tensions. The actions you take will stay with you long after the dust settles, so choose wisely, brave one. As you draw your sword, realign with the eternal wisdom within, then surrender to the battle. Isn't that interesting how the sword came out underneath? So surrender to the battle within. I get that, though, here with the Four of Swords, laying it down, giving it over to Divine Spirit to know that something greater is being asked of you, and that they're kind of referring to that shadow work here, the inner battle that the warrior faces. So where does that trigger come from? We have Mars in the tower here, that's very destructive energy. Did you bring this change upon yourself inadvertently? Perhaps, but it's your subconscious, I think, crying out for change because it was so unhappy in its current state. All right, so on the side notes it says, without a true purpose, manifesto, or oath, the warrior is lost. What do you stand for? What are you willing to rise in the name of? Write it out. Okay, so the sword can also be, it's that air, communication, writing. The pen is mightier than the sword, yes. So write down your thoughts, your intentions in the direction that you want to go with the Nine of Cups there. And because with the opposition card, it's like your words aren't aligning with your truth. They aren't aligning with the direction that you want to go. And be careful, as the warrior implies war. The two go hand in hand. Those who defeat others are strong. Those who defeat themselves are mighty. So there is a large uphill battle ahead of you, pile one. But with the sun being the first card out, that's highly encouraging to follow this path, to stay on the lighted path, because it will have victory over the dark. Okay, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and we'll see you in the next one. If you'd like to pick another pile at this time, you can, or come back to this reading at a later date. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile 2, you chose Albedo, or the whitening, the enlightenment, the liberation from the shadow. So moving on after stage 1, there's a connection between the conscious and the unconscious aspects of the psyche. And it's like the first point of enlightenment where you get clarity and clear understanding. And we're going to take a look at your cards. These are clear quartz. So first we have death. All right, absolutely. There's the black and white symbolized there, conscious, unconscious. So the ending of the ignorance and the suffering or the darkness, or being completely unaware of yourself, your path, your identity, in order to complete the great work and end up in the final stage, there has to be a death and a release and a letting go of a former identity. How you saw yourself or how you think the world saw you. Okay, then we have the Six of Cups, so more Scorpio energy. So we have double Scorpio, and Scorpio is the 8th house of sex, death, change, transmutation. But this is that it may be a connection to family, childhood trauma, or memories, that there's something that you're no longer identifying with about your past, because the Six of Cups is always about the past. And this is being released. And next we have the Strength card. Yeah, you're trading it in for something way more powerful. You're gaining control here. How she's able to tame the lion. She's taming the inner beast within her. Some of you might have had anger issues, or, a lot of us do, over issues from our past, unresolved. You never got that apology. You're not going to. But That's okay, because this is the strength card. You have the ability to tame that beast. You gain control over your emotions, and they no longer control you. And then we have the High Priestess. Yeah, there's a great awareness and awakening. This is perfect for the second stage. It's the connection again between conscious and unconscious. So we started with the black and white symbolism here. You're beginning to find your center. You're the one in the middle, the mediator. She's the keeper of secrets. She seeks knowledge and starts to utilize both sides of herself, the light that she knew and the dark that she did not. But each side has power. It has purpose, and it's what you need. You need both in order to be a complete and whole person. You can't just ignore the shadow, as you found out in stage 1. You can't neglect that, or else you'll never move beyond it. Okay, let's take a look at some astrology cards for you. Oh, I almost forgot to look underneath your deck, because I started with one massive deck and I cut them 4 ways. So underneath we have the Emperor. That's great. So we have this, again, more duality here, divine feminine, divine masculine. But the Emperor, again, with very close to the strength card. That's personal power. This is ruled by Aries, the first house of identity, self, and ego. So becoming your own master in the end. If you continue through the transformative process, that's what awaits you, becoming your own master. Master of self. It's way easier to help other people than to help ourselves. All right, let's take a look at this. Astrology, okay. Underneath we have house 2, physical security, possessions, material value, and self-worth. It's interesting that you're stage 2, pile 2. This is ruled by Venus. It's the sign of Taurus, but it's what we value, and this is self-worth too that's sticking out to me. So a lot of you are starting to value yourself, even the dark aspects of yourself that you previously wanted to disown and disregard as even part of your history. So there's an importance there, though. That lesson was given to you for a reason. And now let's take a look at your first card. Mercury, the Magician. Absolutely. Transmutation. That's what we're doing. Think, learn, network, and communicate. Yeah, connecting the conscious and the subconscious mind, being that mediator between the shadow and the light aspects of yourself. House 12, spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service, and healing. So again, it could be coming to terms with those karmic experiences that you had, being thankful for them even, because they made you who you are today. They gave you the strength that you contain in order to conquer all the future challenges of life. And next we have opposition, imbalance, a point of tension, and a power struggle. Oh yeah, when there's duality consciousness there's always a struggle between light and shadow. The key again is finding the center, finding the balance point, and being that balance point, not being pulled or polarized in one direction or the other. There's no favoritism here. Next we have Libra, so the consideration, fairness, and harmony. Bringing into balance, again, the 2 sides, being the fulcrum or the center point. And then we have the Sun. So the self-expression and the embodiment of truth. Libra is an air sign too, and you think of a courthouse, speak the truth and nothing but the truth. So your truth shines through here. Again, that's very apparent in the Strength card, and Leo rules the Sun. So there's a great connection there between those 2 cards. So I think there's a conquering of fear here. You would think that the woman would be afraid of the lion, but she's not. So I think this is a great stage of conquering any fears in your life or doubts that you had about yourself, because you're reevaluating the worth of self in house 2. Okay. I'm going to take a look at some of these Making Magic sigil cards for you. Earth, ask the element of earth for grounding, stability, and strength in times of chaos. It's funny that they're digging in the earth there, so reconnecting with your roots. Goddess, healing feminine energy. So some of you might have been too much in the yang energy, and again, the goddess being the yin, the feminine, the dark, avoiding the darkness or the shadow, but I think there's a lot of healing that shadow. That's how you get past stage 1. into reconciling those differences within you. And then we have love charm, attract a lover, soulmate, or life partner. So I think in the great alchemical work of yourself, obviously, as you progress and raise your vibration by working this alchemy, that you will attract attention and people, and especially with the sun there. So there could be a partner that comes into your life to balance you out. Libra is the 7th house of partnerships. You could be working through this with somebody, finding another magician, another Mercury person, Gemini or Virgo, that's going to connect with you on this journey. And they see the progress that you've been making on yourself. And finally, we have wishes come true, rapid achievement of your dreams and wishes. Absolutely. Okay. So as you gain awareness of the power that you have over yourself, and it eventually translates to the power you have over your environment. So that's how we get will from the magician, impressing your will upon the void in order to manifest the life that you want to see in the physical world, coming from the void of darkness into the light of reality. And underneath we have the star. The silver energy of the star brings good luck and serendipity. Okay, so things are really starting to turn around, obviously, at this stage, the second stage. The Star of Destiny here, aligning with that Emperor energy of Aries. I think you are finding your way, finding your identity and your strength in order to pursue that destiny. Okay, let's take a look at your archetype card. We have the cave. Okay, coming out of the cave. This came up recently too. Number 32. So look at there's some eyes in the cave. But then there's the light, the shining star at the top, coming through the darkness. The title of this card is The Dark, the Portal, the Interior. Those who are fortunate enough to find and enter the cave are forever changed. It is a place of potent power, acting both as portal to another realm and a space for sacred ritual and initiation. The cave is a place to return for meaningful retreat, where one can see the true self in the darkness. In esoteric teachings, the cave is known to reside in the center of the heart. Within its walls, the whispers of compassion and self-understanding can be heard. Yet because of its mystery and power, many of us fear the cave and never try to find it. We busy ourselves in the bright lights of the city while the cavernous and dimly lit chamber calls out to us in the night. Where is your cave? You already know. Return to it and tend the fire. Envision yourself as an old sage in a cave. What amenities do you need? What draws you even closer to the cave within the cave? Slowly and steadily, crystals of enormous magnitude grow within the dark confines of caves. Let the cave teach you patience. So this is obviously not a process that happens overnight, but over a long period of time. And it's finding that sacred center within. They say about your connecting with your heart center. Leo lives through the heart. I mentioned the marriage of opposites here and the high priestess too. This is the center. So a lot of you, again, in the earth element came out as well. So there could be some grounding that you need to work on, or solar plexus healing with the Leo there as they rule that chakra. That's your divine direction, your divine will, the power of the sun, in order to light your path out of the darkness. Okay. Well, thank you, Pile 2. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If so, let me know in the comments below. You're free to pick another pile at this time if you feel called to do so, or return to this reading at a later date. Thank you again. Take care. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. You chose the third stage, Citrinitas, which is the coagulation of the new personality, the new identity. And it focuses on facilitating conscious relatedness to others and the world at large. It's a stage of education. It's how you integrate your new identity into the world in relation to others. So let's take a look at your 4 cards. Oh yeah, you have 5 because I screwed up my stacking. So I didn't want to take away the original card, but just integrated the next blue one. Speaking of integration, we have Temperance. Yeah. So solidifying, this is the card of alchemy, right? Combining opposites, we have silver and gold. Transmutation from denser to lighter energy. It's a card of Sagittarius too, and that rules the 9th house of higher learning, philosophy, long distance travel. You could be traveling in order to gain more wisdom, even if it's just within your mind, by expanding your knowledge, reading more, doing more research. And that's going to help you again refine and temper this process of identity. And then we have the devil. Okay. So that's Capricorn. And the devil, again, ruled by Saturn, contractual obligations, previous addictions, or responsibilities that have been maybe holding you back. But again, in this stage of the relation to the world at large, it's like, in such an oppressive world, where do I fit in? It's like it seems like everything is defined very well. And the Capricorn rules the physical realm of Earth. It's how do I fit my new consciousness into such, when I'm so fluid, it's such a dense reality, the 3D. So how do we avoid getting caught in the trap of that? And then we have the Five of Pentacles. Right. More earth energy. The Eight of Swords. Okay, so yeah, it does look like a trap, doesn't it? A trap of the mind. And then we have, oh, that's a great ending though, the Queen of Swords. So that's like liberation from this prison of the mind. There's like chains here holding these people. Obviously, they're a slave to their lower energies. The Five of Pentacles often speaks of lack. So I think maybe that's what this transition is coming from. You're changing your perception here with the Ace of Swords, because the Queen of Swords, it's the clarity, the authority. She's cutting out, the BS. She's taken off the blindfold, freeing this formerly enslaved self from his ties and the perceived lack or the perceived trap, feeling like you can't move forward. But this is telling you you do have that strength in the Queen of Swords to push through. The power of the truth is what's going to help you press on. I think you're just going to make your way into the world as far as, trying to figure out where or how you fit in. You carve out your own space. You make room for yourself. That's all part of the process of empowerment. Whereas formerly the system had you in this cycle of lack and despair and servitude, really. But you're moving beyond that. You have these beautiful two cards bookending this. This is what you're working on, liberating yourself, again, through knowledge, through wisdom, truth, clarity. So you're starting to see through the lies, seeing through the deception. The devil is the great trickster, right? He will tell us lies about ourselves and our world. So the fact that if you're feeling any lack or scarcity or confinement, it's all contrived. It's all fake. It's just another Hollywood movie. So when you start to see this truth, that you're not bound by the rules of the world, that's when you're free. That's when you are ready to move on to the next stage. So let's take a look and see what your astrology cards have for you. Underneath the deck, the Sun, beautiful. Strength, Leo card, self-express and embody truth. Well, if that's not the Queen of Swords, then I don't know what is. All right. Be unapologetically you. And the world will have to adjust to your presence now, not the other way around. You don't have to follow the rules basically anymore. Know them so you know how to break them responsibly without becoming, again, imprisoned by the Saturnian dogma that rules this realm. Then we have House 9, spiritual growth. Didn't I say Temperance, Sagittarius, House 9? This is what's happening. You're really in the crucible now. You're really moving past those limitations that maybe you previously set for yourself. And then we have the South Node, destined to release. Yeah, right under the devil. You're destined to get rid of these chains. Nothing can hold you back anymore. And then we have Venus, Give and receive love, find value, and see beauty. Especially under this 5 of coins, right? Giving and receiving. This is also called the charity card, right? If you want to get love, you give love. So finding beauty in every situation, or your former situation, how maybe it took you hitting this rock bottom, this low point in your life in order to find the fact that you had the power to cut those ties all along. You just weren't choosing to use it. And the Venus being, again, self-love too. Love yourself, even though you, especially because you went through this, it was a difficult period. But love that part of yourself that was strong enough to recognize it, see the truth for what it was, and take actual steps to change your position and energy in life. And then we have Pisces, intimacy, intuition, and compassion. Yeah, I think there's, again, this is the water sign, the 12th sign, final sign of the zodiac. It's that depth, psychic understanding, development, compassion, again, for yourself and others too. I think, again, giver's gain is a mantra that I've heard before as well. So everything comes full circle. Sextile, combination of tension and flow, potential, and a rewarding situation. So yeah, you can't enjoy victory without knowing what defeat is like. Okay. Let's take a look at these Making Magic sigil cards. Seems like an awful lot, but all right. Did I look under your deck? I don't think I did. Before we get into that, I never looked under your tarot deck. 7 of coins, 7 of pentacles. That's an investment in yourself, right? You're watering your own garden. You're paying no mind to giving your energy to anyone else anymore. But that's, it's the harvest. What you reap, you'll sow. So pay attention to where you do put your energy and attention. Now we have fairy magic. Respectfully work with the fairies and elements to achieve your goals. If that's something you're called to do, go for it. Goddess, healing feminine energy. So the ability to receive. Because our masculine energy produces, the feminine receives. So be ready to receive this help or this enlightenment that's coming towards you from the sun. Abracadabra with wings, fantastic good fortune and lucky chances. Yeah, you're starting to, again, like I said, gain control of your reality by wielding your sword of truth. You're able to direct your energy and your will into manifesting what it is that you want for yourself. Whether that's expanded knowledge or wealth or health, whatever you're focused on. Let's take a look at these last 4. Power symbol, cleanse, purify, and protect the physical body. Okay, so cleansing with fire here, I see in this 8 of Swords. And it's also, a ring of protection. The swords defend and protect, much like the Queen of Swords. So I'd say protect your energy, cast a protective circle around yourself, purify your body. Obviously, you're releasing a lot of negativity that you're purging out of your life, out of your mental realm. Negative thought patterns. Or self-destructive behaviors, things like that. Air, work with the element of air to cut through to the core of a situation and see the truth. We started with that symbolism of the Queen cutting out the BS, cutting out and recognizing the poison. It's like almost like surgical removal of cancer. I feel like cutting out the cancer in your life, what was currently or previously weighing you down. Successful career, happy working environment, pay rises and promotions. Okay, well, that could be something you're manifesting in the Abracadabra with wings. Also manifesting your ideal career or life path, purpose, whatever it is you do to manifest money. This is showing a successful resolution to that. And then triple moon, embracing all aspects of yourself, the divine and the earthly. And that again has to do with the healing the feminine energy as well. Okay, and embracing, like I said, the whole process, like everything that you've been through so far to this point. You couldn't be where you are now without going through what you did. Underneath the deck, we have the sun. So we have the sun twice. How appropriate for the Citrinita stage. the yellowing, the golden. Well, we're not quite at gold. That's the last stage, but becoming brighter and brighter, more confident as the sun rules our solar plexus, our will. We're getting, I think, a lot more faith in our power and our ability. Let's take a look at an archetype card for you. The box, number 44. Fours are doorways in Hebrew, so 2 fours, 2 doors, 2 choices. The box, this black, it reminds me of the black cube of Saturn too. I mentioned Saturn, ruler of Capricorn there. So I think you're breaking out of the box. As I mentioned, breaking the chains, the confines of your mind, or the restrictions that you or society has placed on what's possible in your life. Let's read about that. I love it. The title of this card is The Cage, the Rules, the Norm. We all live to some degree within the confines of the box. This archetypal represents everything that is known, anticipated, and expected. It holds us in place while simultaneously holding us back from our greatest visions. The box is sneaky, insidious, and everywhere, limiting us at the most unconscious level. It is built of layer upon layer of social constructs and pressures. Breaking through its confines requires awareness, continued effort, and bravery. The box may appear as expectations from parents, a well-paying but heartless job, the pressure to look or behave like others, or simply to stay small. There is a box around you now, made of some type of confining thought. What is it? The box shifts and morphs as we grow. This is part of its multi-layered nature. Once you break through one layer, another will present itself to you. Keep going. Break through. An exquisite life requires it. Beautiful. All right, the side notes say everything within the box is known. Everything outside the box is unknown. That is why it is more comfortable to stay within its walls. Choose freedom. And the Queen of Swords is that freedom. That's taking her power back. She's in charge. What she says goes. Her words are her power. Okay, so use that tool to cut yourself out of the box, right? Moving outside of the box is exhilarating and expansive, but destabilizing. Others will wonder what you are doing and why, and you will too. This is part of the process. Beautiful. I love that message. All right, that is this is my favorite pile so far, not gonna lie. So if you would like to look at another pile, you may do so at this time, or come back to the reading at a later date. But I hope you enjoyed this pile 3. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. All right, finally we've reached stage 4, the Rubedo, the authentic expression of the individual, the reformed self. This is you learning how to incorporate meaning and consciousness throughout living a symbolic life, and how this persona you've created, that you've alchemized, communicates with your essence and purpose in the world. All right, so let's see what the final stage has in store for us. First, we have the Devil card. Okay, this is Capricorn, very powerful symbol. Another pile got this as well. So again, I see that completely as breaking the chains, breaking free of the illusion of being under the spell or control of the Saturnian doctrines that rule this 3D realm. Yeah, absolutely breaking free. So the sun, that's blazing in all of its glory. Nothing more unique than a Leo. They rule the solar plexus. That's true will, identity, and purpose. Your ego is extremely strong now, which is great because it can't be controlled anymore by anyone else. Next, we have the Ace of Swords. Again, cutting yourself free of those chains of the devil. Those self-limiting beliefs are completely gone. You carry the sword of truth with you everywhere you go. You use it to direct your will, and your words are your power. So be careful of the spells you speak, because, I mean, you're speaking them to yourself or to your world. They will have a permanent change on yourself and those around you and your environment. Okay, next we have the Four of Cups. Okay, this is there's a crab on his head because it's the moon, position of Moon in Cancer, which is the ruler Cancer. So that's the intuition, the rest. This is like akin to the Buddha being enlightened under the Bodhi tree, finding that satisfaction within through the journey of self-discovery. This is the outcome, the result. Okay, let's take a look at your alchemy cards or astrology cards. All right. Oh, I forgot to look what's underneath your deck. The Knight of Swords. Okay, charging forth fearlessly, right? I think you're ready to take on the world. You have no fear left of anything or anyone. Okay. He's got the sword in hand. He's ready to spread his truth without apology or restriction. The determination of will is there to make it happen, to move forward. Good for you. You made it. All right. All right. 5. It is. Underneath the deck, we have square, a challenging situation, and a mountain to climb. Well, yep, you've been through that. That's what the devil was. That was the mountain. You conquered the mountain within. I just did a love reading for Leo, so if you happen to be a Leo and you haven't seen that reading yet, because your card is showing up here as well, the symbolism of the mountain came up twice in that reading. If your Venus, Sun, Moon, or Rising is there, maybe you want to check that out as well. But anyway, back to this reading. Let's take a look. We have trine, angelic support, harmony, and perfect flow. Yeah, absolutely. Once you remove those blockages, it's all downhill from here, right? You got to the summit. The difficult part is over. Now you're just on cruise control. You can coast. Earth, persistence, patience, and practicality. Yeah, with the devil card, Capricorn being here, it's obviously didn't come with ease in the beginning. Like I said, there was a lot of difficult physicality to break free from, to climb up out of the dirt, you know. There's a lot of work in getting that heavy energy off of you. House 7, profound relationships, intimacy, and romantic partnerships. All right, so I think once we are complete with this transformation of self, we become the truest version of ourselves, and that's what attracts our most authentic and appropriate partner. They see your light, they recognize it, they know what you've done and what you've been through, and because they themselves have done it. So you meeting another alchemist and coming into contact with them. And then we have Aquarius, originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. Okay, so Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, the planet of the unexpected and the planet of freedom. And we have the sword of truth there. So truth is your freedom. But you could also be called to, again, spread this truth, carry it throughout the world, share it with others, help free other minds that may have been trapped or dissatisfied or not knowing how to commence with their own personal journey. But yeah, originality is really sticking out there too. That's Uranus as well. It's very creative and individual, just like this Leo Sun card, the ego. And then we have House 12, spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service, and healing. The House of Pisces. So coming full circle around the whole zodiac, there's definitely a lot of healing that you had to go through and sacrifice in order to get to this point. But it's giving you this sense of spiritual peace, completion, wholeness, oneness. Okay, let's take a look at your Making Magic sigil cards. Okay, one fill out. The power symbol is face up. That goes right with the sun. Cleanse, purify, and protect the physical body. Maybe that's why he's surrounded by the cups there. 4 cups of water. So purification may be in order, spiritual or physical. Okay. Successful career, happy working environment, pay rises and promotions. Yeah, living your purpose. That is your job, sharing your truth. So there's success in the sun and the Ace of Swords. Earth, ask the element of earth for grounding, stability, and strength in time of chaos. We had earth come up twice now. And then the festival creates an energetic blueprint for a fantastic party or event. Cool. Maybe again you'll have this beautiful night out, and that's when this person will recognize and identify you. Or you could just be having a festival celebrating your victory, of successfully manifesting your personal strength, or whatever else it is you were working on. Little luxuries generates luxurious experiences and surroundings. Well, Capricorn is wealth too. I'm not going to discount that. The 10th house of career, I forgot that as well. So in your career, you can generate massive amounts of wealth by living your truth, by just having the courage to shine your light. People are going to reward you for that immensely because they wish that they had the power to do what you do. They don't understand maybe how you got there. But hopefully they find out for themselves. Mystic Star, harmony in the home and great friendships. Cool. I did mention, again, this house 7, these partnerships and relationships. There's some significant life partner coming in, even if they aren't intimate. It's still on a very personal, professional level. There's a soul contract there. Someone that you are going to have in your life for the rest of it. Is going to be a part of it. Okay. A divine partner, if you will. Let's take a look at your archetype card to wrap this up. Medallion number 59. Doesn't that look like, again, the darkness turning lead into gold? Awesome. Okay, the title of this card is The Amulet, the Talisman, the Heirloom. The passing on of a sacred object is an ancient ritual within families, between lovers, and in tribes across the globe. We gift jewels, treasures, keepsakes, and mementos of all kinds, some of great material value, others that hold emotional resonance, and still others with both. Yet when these gifts are bestowed upon us, it is important to recognize that they may bind us to an unspoken agreement or promise. When the medallion card appears, be aware of how the object you hold dear may be embedded with unconscious energy or expectations. Materials hold consciousness, and it's time to reconcile the vibration of the objects around you. What do you covet or collect? Why? Is there an object you have held on to for years that you are ready to release? Perhaps it is the time to reach for the medallion that aligns with your deepest values. Okay. So, again, I think as part of this transformative process, obviously we're letting go of different parts of ourselves that we no longer resonate with and embracing maybe these new energies that are being gifted to us in the medallion. So it could be a physical object or the metaphorical reception of this golden transmutation that has just occurred. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this reading, Pile 4. Thank you for checking it out. If you want to look at another pile at this time or later at a different time, you're free to do so. So take care, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Bye.